guys, welcome back to Railway Empire 2, and today we are doing chapter 2 of the campaign, which is in England and Wales. Our hometown will be London, and our job for this one will be to grow London. So we're going to be going for the best rank if possible. Now of course these scenarios are not short, so sorry, it's not even a scenario, it's a chapter. They're not short, so make sure you're sitting in for a while. The engineer is our character for this one. You get all locomotives require 10% less maintenance, 20% lower track costs for tunnels and bridges, but the bonus from express change is 5% instead of 10. So let's go. And of course you can't change anything there.
I had invited the operators of the most important rail networks to this evening to solicit support for my Nord Express. An important ally was to be the engineer I had invited. People like him had already helped to bundle the enormous potential of dozens of micro companies. The British gave their own railroad bubble of the 1840s a very appropriate name: Railway Mania. Passengers complained about the absurdity of having to change trains and buy a new ticket in almost every city. Transporting goods over long distances was also possible, only at enormous cost. The time was ripe for a real corporation.
What do you think you're doing? Sit up straight. My name is Captain Hewish, and that is how you will address me. In case you haven't been briefed yet, I am the new General Manager of the London and North Western Railway Company, the first of my kind, and your superior. I have the dubious pleasure of organising the merger of 3 independent railway companies. Your task is to be of assistance. I've prepared a list of tasks for you. I am a busy man and will check on you later. Any questions? Good. Then you may sit comfortably.
Okay, so we're going to start by looking at what we have got. So our task list is to transport by December 1845, so that gives us 12 months. Transport 60 passengers without changing trains from London to Liverpool. And connect 3 rural businesses to your rail network. So we're just going to have a look at what we've got. So London, just below London we have got O'Doherty Farm, which is good for London. We've got Oxford, which produces cloth, and we've got cotton there. Cambridge is off limits at the minute. We've got a farm there. We've got a farm there. We've got randomly a couple of train stations here, there. Liverpool joins to Manchester. Okay. So, I think what we're going to do, guys, here is start by deleting everything we can delete. I think that's got to be. We're going to start fresh and figure this out. Manchester's got too many stations, too many train lines. Liverpool, let's get rid of that station. London, let's get rid of that station. Okay, so we're going to start with a nice new station here in London. Let's put it here, right on the outskirts. And just kind of think about where we're going to go. Because we need a connection for London with Oxford, we can use potentially the first 2 lines maybe to move up to Oxford. Maybe keep a freight line and then up towards Birmingham. So let's put a train station here in Birmingham. So from Birmingham, we'll leave. We'll leave 2 lines because you can actually, well, we can adjust any point, of course, but you can actually build more than 1 station in a city anyway, and that actually gives it a much straighter track. And we will go 2 lines for. We'll go there. A little bit expensive, but it's fine. We're going to use it to our benefit in the coming future. So make sure, again, as we did in the last video, that we are running the same lines constantly. And let's get a train station up here in Liverpool. Now in Liverpool we're going to want, we need probably 2 lines for goods. And I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll also run a train station here as well. So this will connect 1 rural business. So let's go from Birmingham. Let's kind of avoid the Pennines because they're going to be a little bit expensive to build over. Let's just go a little bit further and run it into the 3rd line there. And that should have us connected all the way up to Liverpool, almost. And then let's do our 2 lines from here. Let's do it there. And there, like that. Okay, I think we're pretty good there. And obviously our very first task will be to get a train running without stopping. Just making sure we are all fully connected. Beautiful. So let's get a new rail line from London all the way up to Liverpool. Let's do 2 trains and let's express. It's a little bit expensive, but guys, we can delete that straight away. Our next task will be to get a couple of lines running to different farms. So, not farms, rural businesses. Now for now, I'm going to run this in on the same line, but this will be our link up towards York, so we will change the line a little bit later on, but for now, we just need that line running there to there. And again, like I said, we can change that a little bit later on. That's not a problem. There we go. So now we've got we can set up a new rail line going from Scoley Station to London. That's pretty direct. We'll put 2 trains on that, and then we'll just put 1 train on it. Freight, and we don't want the Iron Duke, that's too expensive. We'll go with the G&M American. Okay, so that gives us 2 rural businesses connected already. Let's get a track connection from there to there, and get a new rail line that goes from there via there to Liverpool, and confirm that. Let's make sure we get some supply towers on the way. So there, get 1 there, get 1 there, just as you come out of there. See, we are thinking about the future here straight away, and a bit of future planning. Might be a little bit on the expensive side, but this is what we're working towards in the future, like I said. So we'll get this our 3rd connection done. And you know what, we're going to make this a double lane, because this can be used later to go further and beyond.
A step in the right direction.
Up towards Swansea and stuff like that. But we can also, let's make this into a 4, if it will allow us. No, we'll just do it 2, that's not a problem. We can always move that later on. Because we can then look at moving up towards Swansea and stuff from Birmingham. And let's get a new rail line going from there to Birmingham. And I don't like the fact that that's called Birmingham 2, but we will change that. Okay, so pretty happy with that to start with, guys. We'll see how this rail line's going. Slow, slow to say the least. But that is the very basic needs of our train line. We can look at Oxford being connected up as well, supplying goods to London, but we want to do it kind of via this train station here. So let's look at that. Bad one. So we're going to use the first 2 lines here for Oxford. That's why I've left them blank. The other 2 lines here are going to be used for moving up towards this here, and further up towards like York and stuff a little bit later on. So let's get a train station here in Oxford. Where can we get it? Kind of pull it like that. That's okay. And let's get that connected. How much is that going to cost? It's not too bad. Okay, away and we can get a new train that just goes from Oxford to London. And that just starts that. 2 people have moved from London to Liverpool. Brilliant. Great. And then we'll get a single line here, guys, that goes from there to there. That's only 40. And we'll get a new train that will go in from there via that far track there to Oxford. And let's get it so it only takes 8. Put a supply tower on that route as well, guys. Beautiful. So we should now have Oxford trading with London, London to Liverpool only currently. We've only got 7 people that have done that trip so far. That's not great. So we're going to have to just wait a little bit longer. Let's have a look at our research points. Make sure, guys, that you kind of activate in the previous ones as well. Don't neglect them. Trying not to take any bombs out at the minute. What we'll do is we'll delete that train for now. What we will be doing is putting a warehouse here in Liverpool with sugar, so that it can supply Manchester with sugar, Birmingham with sugar, and of course London with sugar. But is any sugar down here anywhere else? Not that I can see. Oh yes, there's sugar down there as well. So London shouldn't be a problem when it comes to sugar. We can run that in via that line at some point. We'll be putting a warehouse here at London. We'll be putting warehouse. We'll be using warehouses all over the place. We just need to get established, guys. That's what our first task to do is. Not running much either at the minute, but that's because meat's not being taken anywhere in theory. We're still only doing 7, so we're not doing too well with that. Do we want to connect Liverpool with Manchester? Manchester and Liverpool have both got meat, which really isn't ideal. 41. Okay, so we're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. Let's see what the other one could have enough just to fulfill that task. Not too bad. It's only took about 15 minutes so far. So as soon as that task has been fulfilled, we should be pretty good. Old York, 78 days. We haven't got a station in Manchester. But we are due to get a bit of money back as soon as we sell our 2 trains, and then we can start getting a train that will do a London, Birmingham and Liverpool. And goods will start getting spread between them then, instead of just just people and post. $50. Oh, we need one more train to arrive, I think. So what we'll do is we'll let this one head up, and I'm hoping that will be enough. So we're going to add to this one here because we haven't got any. Oh, what have we just done there? We haven't got any maintenance depots at all along the line. Get a new rail line now that goes from London to Birmingham to Liverpool to Birmingham, and let's get that. Let's have it the Jenny Lind. Now that should start supplying a good bit, I would presume. Train. Hopefully the other one nearly fulfilled its task. It's coming up towards Liverpool now, so that's good. I'm hoping that is going to fulfill that task straight away, guys. And we can get rid of that train then. Okay, yes, brilliant. So let's get rid of that train.
Well, if you say so. I see that you've created a coherent network out of this tangled nonsense. At least you have not disappointed my initial expectations. Now, don't think to rest on your laurels. You need to consolidate this success.
Okay, so we've got 5 new tasks. So, expansion. Deliver 80 loads of any goods to London. And have 90% of travellers take the train from London to Dover. And then optional tasks, we've got reach 120,000 citizens in London, achieve 3 cities with 100,000 or more citizens in your rail network, and increase the value of your company to 30 million. Now at this point I don't think we can buy any of the competitors out either. So we need to be heading towards Dover. Now I think a cracking idea would be to put a station around here somewhere so that we are supplying what we need to, but it's wherever the most ideal sort of location is going to be for it, because it's not a, we've got tracks both sides. And I think we kind of want to come in on the we'll come in on the track for Oxford, because we could actually then eventually go Oxford to Dover. That wouldn't really make too much of a difference, I suppose. And we can run a cheeky train, then it also brings extra wheat if absolutely necessary. So let's build our next train station here on the corner of Dover, and let's just run this on the first 2 lines. Actually, we'll do it on the second 2 lines. No, we'll run it on the first 2 lines. Because I don't think Dover's going to need tons of... Oof, that's expensive. $249. Yeah, it's kind of what it is. We're going to have to wait to do that. So we've already had 5 loads of goods delivered to London. Yeah, we've got goods moving now throughout. And we'll make that so it's just 8. See, what we can do is put a warehouse here in London and put wheat there, so then that will supply wheat to Oxford, to Birmingham, to Liverpool. I think we might have to look at taking a bond so that we can get these tracks constructed and the game moving, because it's going to be a long wait otherwise. London. We could do it via there, and then that way if there is any extra room on the train, it will pick up at that station as well. And just supply Dover enough with its goods on the way. In fact, we could also do that on the way back and supply London with any more wheat it might need. Let's get that warehouse here in London now as well, and let's get wheat stored in it. And you know what else we could store in it? We could store cloth, because that would then allow Oxford to make more cloth and get that moving to London as well. That would generate more trains coming that way, allowing Dover to have cloth and Birmingham and stuff as well. But Birmingham should be getting cloth from that station there anyway, let's face it. Realistically, we need to be looking at Manchester being connected with Liverpool. Got a good flow of goods coming through now. Let's edit that so it's now 3 trains. Yep, it's definitely viable to have the 3rd train. fulfilled that task yet.
Merging three
Okay, so
independent
we've fulfilled
rail
the
networks is like bringing a
90%
gang
of
of
travellers take the
unruly
train from
recruits
London
up
to
to
Dover
scratch.
task.
The company is lucky to employ Captain Mark Hewish.
Okay, so happy with this, how it's going, guys? Alright. And that's still taking extra wheat as well. That could be a really good line. We could get corn. We could put potentially a warehouse here and have corn go into this warehouse as well. That would generate more usage, and it's not going to cost us a great deal to run a line from there to join in either, because he actually has his rail line under the ground there. Yeah, not a lot at all, to be fair, guys. So that would allow us to have more trains running, more revenue. And more goods being moved from Dover via that O'Doherty train station. We can also, guys, have a third line like that going in as well at some point, just so that we could put a side in so that a train could load at this station without causing any issue. But for now, we just have to kind of deal with the fact that we can't get anything else moving until we make some more money. We've got 37 out of 80 supplied. London, let's have a look at London in regards to its fulfillment. It's got no corn, no wood, so that, and no sugar. So that is something we're going to have to really kind of focus on supplying. So we could get wood. We can't get wood from there. There's nowhere else really to get wood in the region. That's not too bad. It's only 150k to buy, and that would be a real bonus for us to get wood into Oxford, so that we can supply both Oxford and London with wood. So we would put, I wouldn't say I'd say we'd put wood in the warehouse here in London, and just supply an extra line over to fulfill that. Because at the minute this train line isn't overly used anyway, to be fair. There's only one train running on it, so we're happy with that. Right, so let's get a train running from there to there. And let's have it so it's just got 8. And we look at then doing that. We can then extend that to be 3. And what we do then, guys, is we can put a new rail line from here to London and have that dedicated, right, and you can get it running on the 3rd track like that, and have it so it's just the minimum. So you see it's running on the 3rd track only, so it will only come into this part of the station, and it will only go once it's fully loaded as well. So once we also get this other wheat once we get this corn coming in as well, it will supply corn as well as wheat. We are 53 out of 80. We should see London then start growing a bit as well. It's very slow. It is very slow growth money-wise to begin with, because these trains aren't bringing a lot of money in. But then we haven't got enough trains currently, like we haven't got enough trains running. That's kind of realistically how it is. Beautiful. It's not worth having a second train on that yet. Oxford's growing, so that's good. Our task, I think, next is to buy this area, so that we can get wood moving, guys. Now we could probably save ourselves a little bit of money by potentially getting rid of that train. That's another 50k back in our pocket. Let's get this purchased before it becomes too expensive, and let's get our first rail station here connected. Wood to our network. The only problem is we've got that one line there running. I wonder if it's possible to connect it to the middle line. Oh, it is. Okay. So we'll keep that in mind, because we do need to get wood moving to both Oxford and to London. See, we need to change Liverpool. We need to change Liverpool for meat as well, realistically. And connect Manchester up to... I've got Bristol as well. We could connect Bristol. Bristol could be a good one for us, because Oxford is going to need meat. And London, of course, will still need extra meat. Well, London's currently growing. Good. Happy, happy, happy.
The headquarters of our company is located near London Euston. Our reputation requires that we therefore serve the city adequately. Together, we have created a solid foundation. No more and no less. The competition never sleeps. Remember that.
Okay, so we've got some new tasks. So, before June 1847, construct the Extensions Restaurant and Market Hall at the train station in Birmingham. Reach 35,000 citizens in Birmingham, so we need to grow that. Transport 800 passengers from Birmingham. Transport 800 mailbags from Birmingham. Reach 120,000 citizens in the north east of England. Includes Liverpool, Manchester, York and Carlisle. So that's a fair old expansion we need to be doing. Yeah, that is a fair old expansion. And realistically, we need to stop producing meat in both Manchester and Liverpool. Okay, so let's look at getting this train line finished. For now, we're not going to extend up towards Bristol. We're going to focus on getting this running. And getting it also running down towards London, so we need to focus on seeing if we can get this to just do that turn there. Oh, we can. Beautiful. Just before the bridge. Oh. Yes. Oh, but that kills that line then. Okay, so we might just have to demolish that line. Might just then have to do what we did previously and run it in like that. Close we can get it to the bridge before we can split it. That shouldn't be a problem. Yes, we can do that. Okay, so what we can do now is get this to run only on track. Let's just see what's going on there. It's not letting me do it, but we'll see what happens. Just want it to sit on that first track, and then we'll get a new rail line from there down to London. And again, we want it just to be running 8 at a time. But we're also going to put wood in our warehouse here in London. So it should always constantly supply goods. that's supplying goods to Dover. That train's still running quite happily there. Good, so London's growing, Oxford's growing, we've got wood moving now. We need to try and find the train on there. So let's edit that. Right, let's delete that train and let's get a new rail line running from there. To there. And have it running on line number 1, minimum of 8. Train, that one, confirm. So that should again just sit on this side in here, so that it doesn't block the first 2 lines going over to there. No issue. Beautiful. So now we need to be looking at supplying Birmingham and Liverpool with the goods they need. So that should work better now. And do we look at connecting Oxford with Birmingham? Yeah, that seems like it could be a cracking idea. Get a warehouse over here too. Just for easiness. Okay, so we really could do with a warehouse here. How much would that cost? 137,000, we can't afford that. But let's for now get a rail line moving from there to there. If we can afford to get a warehouse here in Oxford, we will. We'll get a warehouse and we'll also get a maintenance station. So good, now we've got Oxford and Birmingham connected. I don't think we've got enough wheat, if I'm completely honest. We might have to establish a train coming back from here to supply London with wheat. But the more trains we've got running, the more money we're making. So that is good. Can we take out a second bond? No, we can't at the moment. But I think once we start getting Birmingham growing, that'll be absolutely fine. What's Birmingham? What's going to Birmingham? Just cloth. Let's get in there wood, and let's put meat in there just in case, so that meat can be sent back. That should generate more use of that from Birmingham. Well, we need to kind of extend that a little bit as well, but that's fine. We can sort that out in a moment. So an easy way to sort this one out, guys, is demolish that, demolish that. Demolish that, that. Just pause time for a moment. We run that to there. And then we run that. Down to about there. And then we'll make that a 4. Beautiful. So now that should allow more trains to run to Birmingham without any issue. Okay, good. Birmingham's now growing, which is what we need. We need that 35,000 citizens, and we need to get 120,000 citizens as well. The mailbags and the passengers will run naturally. The last thing I want to do is put a maintenance station here. There we go. So that means that trains can now be serviced here too. Brilliant. How many trains did I have running from Oxford to Birmingham? Just the one at the moment. Birmingham's grown. Liverpool is growing. But we also now need to stop this progression to Manchester, because they've kind of cut us off a little bit there, which isn't good at all. But we can do this, it's not a problem. Train reinstated now. And that will help Birmingham grow. And we just need to push up towards Manchester now. So that'll be our next task. Let's get a train station here in Manchester. So we'll connect Manchester via Birmingham. When we get the money to do so. Very slow going here with the cash guys. So Birmingham's now 21 and a half. So lovely jubbly. We should start seeing some wood being stored in the warehouse we have. So you'll find that wood will now transport up towards Birmingham as well. See what that's taking on its way back. It's probably going to be serviced. I'm hoping some wood. Yeah, there we go, wood. Happy with that. It's taking wood up to Birmingham. So let's get that line introduced between Birmingham and Manchester now. And then Manchester, we'll have to probably do a bit of a round robin to head to Liverpool from there. We might just have to move some of those tracks just to make it work a little bit better. Only because of the way he's extended his tracks round here. Carlisle, we can't really expand up towards Carlisle, but we need to get Liverpool growing rapidly. Why is Liverpool growing so quickly? What's wood? Where's it getting wood from? Yeah, sugar. Okay, okay. I'm happy with that either way. Liverpool's growing. So let's get Manchester connected to Birmingham.
Birmingham is the gateway for the Great Western to occupy the rest of Britain. That's why we must banish them to the southwest, like a genie to its bottle.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be a massively busy track at the minute. Manchester can't really supply anything to Birmingham that they don't already have, so it's just going to be a matter of moving people rather than anything else. But we can push towards Liverpool as well via that sugar farm. Finding that hard to believe. That's struggling for wood. Because we can't really put... we could do a train that also goes from Oxford to Manchester. That is another cracking idea. And that's not an expensive track either. So that is definitely worth running. Because then that will allow us to feed stuff from Oxford directly to Manchester. We'll do 2 trains for that. There we go. So we've now got some really viable routes that are going to start generating good movement. Our next task will be to adjust these lines here so that we can get sugar moving throughout the top of the region.
Your transport numbers aren't bad, but I have to say, during my time with the East India Company, we shipped at least 5 times as much every day.
There is a way. Copy the train. Set it obviously so it's only when it's done. Oh, it's got 8. Yeah, we've done that. Cool. So London's growing, Oxford's growing, Birmingham's growing. Lovely. We're going to start seeing Manchester growing. We could even do Oxford to Liverpool too, and that would make a huge difference as well. Yeah, we've got a good supply of goods going through now, so happy. So we just need to focus our next task on fixing Liverpool. Okay, so we'll start restructuring Liverpool. So it's going to have to start with demolishing these train lines coming out of Liverpool and the train station here, and we're also going to possibly have to demolish some lines from this side. So what we'll do is we'll put a water tower in there, not a water tower, you know what I mean. We will go with that. Okay, so I think we need to run our 2 lines from there into the 5th line like that, and this isn't going to be cheap, of course, but when is anything cheap in this game? We need to make sure that our trains are continuing to run into Liverpool. Yeah, I think we'll be okay with that. And we'll run that. And you know what? We'll run the third line too, because the third line, in fact, we'll run all 5 lines. There we go. And with that, we will go with a 5. We could do that. Pretty much all of them. That's not an issue. So we'll run 2 in like that, 2 out like that, and we're going to leave that middle line as a free running line. We're going to, of course, make sure that our gridirons are running on that side, and we want to make sure our tracks are running the correct directions on that side. We will press play in a minute. Now what we want to do then is run our lines from Manchester. We kind of want to follow the flow a good bit so that we can use gridirons to come in, and then we want to be kind of extending out and trying not to cost too much money going across the Pennines and in, and we'll want to go in on that line there. And like I said, we don't want to be costing too much. Sure that obviously there's no errors on the line. That's not going to allow it to work. It doesn't necessarily need to go that wide either. Get it down to 155 like that, and we will then of course get ready with that line. So let's get pressing play. Now we need to see where that train line is going from here. We don't actually have a train line from there currently. Let's have a look at the trains that are running out of here. London to Birmingham, just the 3. So we will start getting sugar moving. I'm sure we had. Did we have a warehouse here? Maintenance depot. So let's get a warehouse there soon. Let's get a train line that runs from there via middle track to Liverpool and via the middle track on the way back. It's going to sit on the middle line. That's 8 wagons. We don't want the Iron Duke. As you can tell, I have been off the game, so everything kind of just restarts. Okay, so that will have a train that will just go down that middle line. We are going to look at hopefully getting that next bit of rail line moving in a minute. What's that coming in? That is Oxford to Manchester. There's 2 of them running, so that's beautiful. Oxford to Manchester. We've got Oxford to Birmingham. We've got Oxford to London. We've got London to Birmingham to Liverpool, but we haven't got a train that runs from London yet up to Manchester. So that's going to be another route we can start. Now, we're going to probably be overpowering these routes at some point, so it might be that we will have to kind of force more tracks running up and into Birmingham, and more tracks running up into Manchester. But for now, we can deal with what we've got. We're going to make sure our track is finished there. We'll have a 4-way gridiron there. Just make sure we've got 2 gridirons there, so that we can now have a new rail line that runs from Manchester to Liverpool. Unfortunately, much longer than it kind of needed to be, but we're just going to use the one train for now. We don't need more than one train, I wouldn't think, doing that journey. But as soon as we can, we'll then get a warehouse with sugar here, and we then need to start running cows into Liverpool, and we need to sort of like look at the commodities that Manchester's going to be using. Get a couple of supply towers along the way. Birmingham's growing nicely, that's not an issue. And we also need to kind of extend up to York at some point. Unfortunately, we've got this train station sitting here, causing a bit of a problem, so that we can reach York. Got going on there. Small breakdown, it will pick up. I like it when trains aren't running. Now let's get that warehouse here with sugar, at least, so we can get some sugar into the system too. Because we are being blocked majority by these lines running on this side. So I think we need to look at connecting up to York at some point too. And we'll point up towards Carlisle sort of area. See if we can get a train line running up here. It might be that we run, when we get the money, 2 more tracks up, and they run into Birmingham to help out, and we'll have to figure out a way of getting the tracks to cross so that we can continue our journey onwards up that way. We'll figure it out. It's not overly difficult. We'll figure it out. It's going to cost quite the pretty penny for us to run up to York, I think, unfortunately. I think we're looking at around the 600,000 mark. Let's see if we can get that reduced. So we'll keep an eye on that. We need to be looking at getting our extensions here in Birmingham now. So what did it want? It wanted a restaurant and a market hall. So let's get a restaurant. And a market hall. So market hall will increase revenue from passengers who start or the transfer at the station. Can be combined with the restaurant.
The rails of the Great Western pose a threat to us. They belong to a major competitor, and they could severely disrupt our expansion.
Brilliant. So that now gives us the tick on that one. We've still got another year to reach 35,000 citizens in Birmingham, and we just need to reach the citizens to 120,000, so that's Liverpool, Manchester, York and Carlisle. Now we should see an increase in both Manchester and Liverpool growing. It'd be good potentially to run a train from Oxford to Liverpool too. Oxford can grow as well. I don't think we could afford to put anything there. We've got dressmakers. Wood would be a cracking one, and that is 411,000. We're not far from that. That might be beneficial for us to spend our money on that. And it is right, right where the wood is, so we could run multiple trains bringing wood into Oxford. Research. Make sure that we've cleared everything below. What's that? Reduces the cost of tunnels. That would help us. And increase profit of all your rural businesses by 5%. We don't actually have any rural businesses at the moment. I think we should put a sawmill here. Definitely. Yes, it's going to cost a little bit of money, but worth it, I would say. So I reckon we should increase this train to 2. That's going to help us, certainly. Oxford's going to be quite the hub by the looks of it, and it could be one of them that we increase that train station. We can adjust things a little bit later on. Birmingham's rapidly growing, Manchester's rapidly growing, Liverpool's growing. Let's get a station. How do we want to do this? Because we could think about expanding to Carlisle that way too. What track planning was that? 480, the York one. So for now we don't need to necessarily look at that. We'll leave the first 2 lines there. Seems unnecessarily expensive to get cows moving into Liverpool. But again, a gateway potentially up to Carlisle. Okay, so now we've got cows running to there. York is going to be our next big target, I think. Let's have a look at the growth. We're up to 110. Birmingham's up to 33, so Birmingham's growing nicely. I don't think we need to do much. Let's save a bit of money now and watch all these trains just keep arriving. Let's just see what sort of things we've got. Oxford to Birmingham. I'll tell you what, let's put that as a second train. What else have we got? London to Manchester. They're both running nicely. Let's see what else we've got. What's this? London to Birmingham. Those three trains are running nicely. Plenty of trains to Oxford. Their fulfilment of demand is 60%. They could do with corn and sugar. Unfortunately, sugar does seem to be a tough one to get hold of. But there's no saying we can't actually run a train. Let's run a train from Liverpool to Oxford. Let's do that. Let's run two of them. Let's run it on. Let's run it on that track. Doing all right here. So 35,000 citizens, and we're up to 113,000 now. Sitting quite happy here, guys. I think. Let's see how this train's running on here. Manchester to Liverpool. They're not really transferring much between Manchester to Liverpool. We'll keep an eye on it just for a moment while we're still building money. Is it a non-viable train? Are they not even like taking anything between them? It's taking sugar back, so that's a bonus. Birmingham's still growing, Liverpool's still growing, Manchester's still growing. Good. We've got a good network here, guys. We're doing all right. London has stopped growing for now. London is on 60%, so actually not too bad. It needs sugar. It needs fruit, veg and apples now. So let's look at what we can supply. Okay, so we can get the East Anglia. We could get Cambridge involved, but it doesn't seem too much of a need in realism. We've got apples over here, so that is a good start. We do need to get York connected still, but I think running the money up at the minute is probably the wisest idea, ready to take on the next phase. We can run apples and stuff as and when later, because I don't know where we're going to be expected to be heading next. Okay, so with the population almost there, what I've done is I forgot to put corn into the London warehouse, so I've just fixed that. And I've also put a maintenance depot down here. For some reason, I don't know why, I completely forgot to put corn here. So corn will now get distributed throughout the region as well, which will be fantastic.
I have just received a dispatch. The mood in Birmingham seems to be tipping in our favour.
Good stuff.
So far, so good. You've buttered up the Birmingham people enough, and the Great Western didn't get the concession for this region. That's a victory for us. Our competitors are currently laying low, but the peace cannot be trusted. Attack is the best defense. It's time to start spreading out.
Okay,
Do you
so let's see
the
what
private route between Oxford and Birmingham? That's small fry, operating independently so far. I've spoken to our allies in Parliament. We're now allowed to buy up small routes like that. Don't wait. Destroy the competition.
Okay, so let's just pause it and see what we've got going on. Buy the small private route between Birmingham and Oxford. Achieve an express status on the rail line between Liverpool and Carlisle. So we do need to head up to Carlisle and deliver 4 loads of vegetables to York. So that means we can start now buying up which one was it? Birmingham to Oxford Railway. So this one here. So let's do that, and I'll tell you what we're going to do straight away. We're going to just demolish it. We're just going to demolish it and get as much money back as possible, because we don't need that running. Your choice whether or not you wish to do that, of course, but for me, that is a bit of compensation back. Let's see what else we can buy. Can we buy this one? I don't think we can buy. I think we have to buy our competitors out for this. So there's this one here. So let's buy that one. And again, let's just actually, I don't think we necessarily need to do that. That could be beneficial for us to get straight into London, and then it's not actually affecting anything there in London, apart from we're going to have to cross this track. What's this one here? Let's buy that one, and let's get that one demolished. That is literally no issue of ours, that one. Because we are running beautifully there. There's that little independent one there as well. Actually, that one's going to benefit us to buy, because that one is stopping us progressing up towards York. So that's good. It also gets rid of that extra station in Manchester. Beautiful. I'm quite happy with that. And guys, also, if we really need to, now we're in a position where we can take a good bond, so we could take that, and you know what, we could get rid of that, repay 715 now, so it gets rid of that extra bond. Let's get pressing play, and let's carry on. So York, we need to be progressing up to York, so I think for that we want to what's that, track planning? There's some track planning in place and I don't know where it is. Oh, okay, so let's just delete that planning for now. Let's just slow down time a little bit, and guys, what we're going to do is we're going to start building a new line that runs up to about Is that going to allow us? Planning, execute planning, beautiful. We're then going to just, for now, demolish that. And continue running this line up here a bit further as well, because this is going to help us now run express and stuff further north. We'll just run the next line here. All the way up to kind of meeting just about there for now. Oh, for some reason it didn't work. End planning. Oh God, what have I done there? What did I do there? Good job, it's only to there. So let's fix that there. Okay, right. So from now we can now run this line back into here. Great. So now we've got our link up towards Liverpool, not Liverpool, sorry, up towards York started. We're going to increase that to a 4. And make sure our tracks are running the way we want them to run. If you guys need any more explaining, of course, don't hesitate to ask. Our train will instantly start running again down to London, and of course it's on a free track now, so it's not going to be affecting the trains that are running up there. London to Birmingham. Oh yeah, I think we need to actually increase that to potentially 5 trains. Let's just make sure our tracks are all running the way we want them, because something said there about tracks. Oh, hold on. I think it's running on that middle line there. It is, so we need to make sure it's running on a different line. Not an issue. Not an issue. So we now look at extending up to York. And it's going to cost a hell of a lot less now that the other stations are completely out of the way. And we'll run it in. We'll run it in like that. And that now connects London and York. So we can now get a train running from... What's that train there? Small breakdown. New rail line that goes from London all the way up to York. Get a couple of trains doing that for now, and then we can link York to Manchester as well. That's really quite a simple process to do that, and we maybe potentially put a warehouse in Manchester, then we can put beer there, and beer then can be transferred to Liverpool and of course down to Birmingham, just to help with the extra flow of goods. double check our tasks. So achieve an express status on the line between Liverpool and Carlisle, and deliver 4 loads of vegetables to York. So where is vegetables on our little journey here? Because I can see fruit. Vegetables are down there. Right, okay, so that is something we could then get. Yeah, I think that's something we need to inject into the system. And don't forget, we've also got this line here we can use to continue to get Birmingham to grow. Let's see what business we could put there. Sugar and apples would do that. Toilet roll would be wood. Okay, so potentials, guys, potentials. Let's buy that. See how much that's going to cost. 500,000. Let's see if we can now take out another bond. We can't. So we're going to have to wait for money to roll in, guys, and take over the Cambridge line there and figure out how we want to do this. So we're just going to have to bite the bullet, guys, and save a bit of money. Okay, so I've ran up to about 500,000 again, but I've just had a bit of a thought. We need to get sugar and milk into London. London's continued to grow. So what I've done is I've put milk into the London warehouse. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this McGowan train station, because it's not too far from Murray's Rest, as a tactical position to get these both into this train station. So we're going to have a look at how much it's going to cost me to get a track running in to this train station. How much is that? 80,000. It's going to run on the same line as that other one, which means it could be a bit of a pain. So we might just have to adjust the tracks here at McGowan. Now I did actually just build another line here, but I've got a quick thought here. So if we put let's let this train get out of the way. Let's just train from Oxford to London. Let that train just get out of the way. Come on, get out of the way, train. And then we will pause it. Well, let's get this train station just slightly different. We might need to just adjust that side as well. And we'll use that line and that line for our train to run from Oxford to London. Let's just let this train get out of the way just past supply tower, really. Just about there. Let's look at demolishing gridiron and that. We'll figure this out, guys. It's not a major issue. We just need to run this line just rejoin back up its former track point there. Take the direction off that track altogether, and our normal directionals there. So the train will just continue to flow through as normal, guys, without an issue. We can then plan it so that this train goes into this disused track here. Okay, yes, it's going to cost 81,000. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. We can actually use that line like that, but we'll just run it only into the one station, and then what we need to do is put a maintenance depot here, and we also need to put a warehouse here, and in this warehouse we will store sugar and milk. And then we will also run a third line that does this, and you'll see why. Okay, right, so let's double up this line all the way to this. I know we're spending a bit of money, which we said we were going to use elsewhere, but it's fine, because this is going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a new rail line that goes from the McIntyre stop to there, and it's only going to use the second line. Put that on, and of course we want it to make sure that it's only doing 8 wagons minimum. And then a new rail line, which is going to be pretty crazy, but just from there to there, and we want it to use, in Murray Rest, we want it to use line 1 only, have a minimum of 8, and just milk, 1 train, and it's going to use line 2 there. Confirm. Hold on, McIntyre station. Oh, hold on, what's it doing here? I think we haven't put a gridiron there. We haven't. There we go. We'll just delete that train again, start again there to there. At Murray Rest it sits on line number 1, minimum of 8, and no. And then yes, McGowan train station, we just want it to use line number 2. Confirm, train, confirm. There we go. So that should now fix that issue too. And then we want a new rail that goes from there to London, and we want it to sit at the McGowan train station on line number 5, minimum of 8. Go. So that's going to sit there and wait until it gets a load of whatever it needs. That's going to take the milk, it's going to take the sugar, and we are good. So that should help London get milk and sugar. And we've also got milk in the London warehouse as well, so that means that London will then distribute milk, sorry. So London will then distribute milk throughout the region too. So all good. We are all good at the moment. Manchester's grown. Liverpool's grown. York is growing. Our next task will be to head up towards Carlisle. We want to kind of buy that and get rid of that out of our way so that we can then move up to Carlisle. So 350k will buy that. So let's buy that. Close that and demolish that track. Let's get some money back off it. Don't need that. Don't want that. Okay, so that now gives us access up to Carlisle. Pretty easy, to be fair. We do need to buy this little one here as well, which is 500,000. Let's see if we can take out any bond. We can. So let's take out another bond, guys. Let's do this. Let's just pause it. Get this one purchased. And destroy it. We'll keep that train station there at Old Neil's Rest. And we really need to then look at getting Cambridge involved in the growth of our cities now, which is cool because we can run another line up to York, we can run a line to London, and of course that means London can then take apples and veg and we can distribute it from there. Cambridge can then go up to Birmingham, and cracking. Right, so let's get we really need to get a train station in Cambridge that's going to work. Cambridge, there we go. So from Cambridge we will get a maintenance depot, and we will get a warehouse, and in that warehouse we're going to store veg and apples. And we will directly link up that. We're spending the money now, guys. Sure that's done. So we can get a rail line running from Old Neil's Rest to Cambridge. I don't like it being called Cambridge too, but hey. A minimum of 8 wagons. And now that might not run for a minute because it might just not need any fruit or veg there. So yeah, it is waiting for goods, but that's not a problem. We now want to look at running. Do you know what we want to do? Change the name from Cambridge to. I'm sorry. We get a line now that can run. Let's think. 2 up to York. 2 that runs to London. A little bit pricey, but hey. Tolerable. Again, let's get a new rail line then. Cambridge to London. 2 trains, that should do it. That should be enough to get that going. Ooh, we lost quite a bit of money then. Let's get fast forwarding. We should see this train now filling up nicely. Yeah, that's good. And of course, let's focus on also getting another train that will run pretty much the same direction. I'm going to cut in on this one this time, up towards the north. Let's just have it so that they can come out on any station they want. We've got something running without. What have we got running? Let's put a supply tower right there in the middle. Beautiful, beautiful. So we can now start looking at heading up towards Carlisle as well. Cracking. I don't think there's anything else missing at the minute. London's still growing. Cambridge should start to grow, and like I said, we can now look at getting Cambridge up to York. So let's get 2 of them running as well. And as more goods come into Cambridge from from London, we should be pretty good there. We need to have a look at the London warehouse, I suppose, and have a look at what's actually in there. Wood, we could do with more wood. So let's make that 2 trains now. So we've got double the amount of wood going to London. Warehouse in there has got a good bit of sugar and milk arriving. Good, 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 good. Right. York is growing, Manchester's growing, Liverpool is growing. We need to then get apples moving to Cambridge. Cheaply as possible as well, and we want to run it in on the same line here. $88,000, beautiful, we'll do that. Rail line from there to Cambridge. Hold on, why is that not in? Is that too far away from there? Can't have been too far away, surely not. It's okay, it's all right. Just said it wasn't taking any apples. Yeah, okay, right, new rail line. Driscoll stop. So Cambridge, it's 8 wagons. Confirm. Let's make sure there is a supply tower on the route. Beautiful. Okay, so next is the Carlisle Express route. Now York really, what sort of level does York need to actually require veg? 40,000. So it could be that we just very cheekily put a warehouse there that has veg, and that will just then push the fact that Cambridge will want to go up to York with veg. Then we can connect York to Manchester. I think we need to just work on this area here now, and get trains running. Up to Manchester. Just trying to see what lines that I use. It might be that we have to slightly extend the lines. Maybe not. Maybe not. Good. This is good. It might not look good, but it's good, guys. Don't worry. We're in 4 lines up there now. And what we want to be able to do is have this train line run onto that train line, and that train line run onto that train line, and then we can run that line. I think we need to run do we need to run another line that goes up? Maybe not, no. No, maybe not. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine with what we've got there. So we run that. It's a bit too low. That into there. And we run that into there. So what that does is it allows us to keep the Bristol, Oxford to Manchester train running without interfering. London to Manchester. Can change. So we want London to Manchester, so that's going to run. We're going to want it to run on this line, so we can edit that. So there it goes, London, and then move waypoint to there, so that the London to Manchester line will run down there. Just frees up a bit more space on the other line. Huh, is that my extra train station? Really need that. Just a bit of extra money. So we've got York growing, we've got Cambridge, everything's growing now, everything's growing. Let's get up to Carlisle. Bonus for creating a new express route. What express route did I create there? I don't know. But the way we're going to do this, guys, is we're going to put our train station there. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to add another line here. Like that. And make that a 3. And then we're going to find where that train is. We want it to sit in the terminal at line number 5. Confirm that. And it will just sit on this line here, not causing any problems, so that we can now continue up towards Carlisle on the same 2 tracks that we were running on. But let's try and not cost the earth, of course. It's not going to be a cheap line. Let's face it, it is through the mountains. It might be that actually we go around the mountain. That might be. That might, like the coastal road. Let's do the coastal road with minimal tunnels, minimal bridges. Still going to probably have some. That's okay. And we're just going to make sure that we keep first line open there. Okay, we can do it for about 571. Okay, that now gives us the chance to run our express train straight up to Carlisle. Beautiful. Let's put a couple of supply towers there. And there, because it is quite a long track, guys. So we do Liverpool to Carlisle. We set it as the fastest one you can have, and we have it as express. So there we go. We've got maintenance depot there. Of course, just get rid of that name, Carlisle 2. Beautiful. So that should now tick our express status rail there, and we just need to then get the veg up to York, which we could, in theory, let's have a look what we've got in the warehouse. We could, in theory, run a single train that goes up to York. That literally takes veg at a minimum of 4. It will just sit there until it's ready with the goods, which isn't an issue. We'll do that, delete the train straight after. That will fulfill that task as well. It might be that what we have to do is connect to York. We can do Cambridge now to Birmingham too. That's a cracking idea, and we could put. We don't need that there now, so we could put warehouse here, and in that warehouse we put veg and apples, so that we then run another couple of trains that go from Cambridge directly to Birmingham, and we do it so it's 2 and it's just freight. That's pretty solid decision. We should then see more veg, more fruit being distributed and driven into Cambridge. We just need to see that one train heading up to York with that veg, and it might just be that we connect York to Manchester. Manchester could, yes, they could do with veg, so let's focus on now connecting York and Manchester. And it doesn't necessarily really need to be a massively busy line. Just enough to, I think I've put that into the wrong line there, guys. Second line. Like that. Okay, right, so now we can have a train that goes from York to Manchester. It's not going to need many. Two trains should cover that pretty well. Let's see how everything else is doing. To get London to continue to grow now, we need to demolish that library and now put a university there, so that will allow London to continue to grow. Birmingham is growing rapidly. Liverpool has stopped growing, but Manchester's okay. York is still growing too. We are pretty good here, guys, and at some point we're going to stop spending money because we're not really going to need it so much. Is that train still not gone? Even though we've now got a York that's got a warehouse that will store veg and apples, to be fair. That could commoditise Manchester. Let's look at what York needs to grow. Corn and sugar. So maybe we put a warehouse with sugar there, and then that will keep the train running with sugar between Manchester. Oh, Liverpool's grown as well. What else could we do? I don't know. I don't really want to spend the money putting businesses in, I don't think. Could be worth. We need apples going. We need apples going to Birmingham, don't we? Let's have a look at the supply of apples to Birmingham. apples. Hasn't got any really, so we need to look at getting apples to Birmingham. So did we run a train from Cambridge to Birmingham? We do, yes. We've got apples going. I'd have thought demand for apples would have been a bit more than that, in all honesty. What have I just done? Could have done with keeping that there. It's not even a massive line, is it? Let's face it. Let's get a small track running. I just don't like all these like constant little tracks that literally don't need to be there. If we put in the York warehouse now wheat as well, it should be pretty good. We can distribute that throughout too. I don't know how this express line hasn't been achieved yet. It's not achieved because it doesn't seem to be the best available train. Let's have a look. So speed 60, speed 53. Officially, that is the express train. I'm not sure why that's not classed as the express line, when literally all it's doing is going up there as express. Maybe it's not the quickest way. Well, London's still growing, Oxford's still growing, Birmingham's still growing, Manchester's still growing, York is growing rapidly, Cambridge is growing rapidly too. Got a couple of breakdowns. See, that's classed as an express line. Why would that be classed as an express line? Is the Jenny Lind faster than... So, Jenny Lind is 48. Try that. I don't know. Oh, wow.
So successful,
okay, so the Jenny Lind is
For 10 years,
the
I
express
was a
train.
soldier in the 67th Regiment of the Bengal Native Infantry, and I picked up a few things.
We need veg from 40,000 people anyway. We're almost at the 40,000 mark. I think as soon as we get the 40,000 mark anyway, and that's going to tick over that too. What is that? Is that a small breakdown? Manchester to Birmingham. Oh, I wonder if we haven't put a maintenance depot anywhere. We haven't. Right, let's that will pick up in a sec. We're just replacing that train, and it will bugger off in a second. Or I will Manchester to Birmingham. Delete that train. That's not a problem. New rail line. Birmingham to Manchester. Let's get 2 trains on it now. There we go. Good, good, good. Looking really strong now, guys. I don't really fancy bidding on that. To Manchester. Oh yeah, that's good. Looks good. Let's add a library. That will help with the fulfillment too. Cool, happy with this, guys, happy with this. Cambridge is still growing. York, how far are we away now? 38. So we're going to wait for 40,000 people in York. Okay, so it didn't take long. So with York now growing, we should see this train start to fulfill its duty of taking veg up. We have got no veg left now, unfortunately, so we're waiting on the veg train to come. There wouldn't be any massive harm if we decided to run one train
in the military, you learn the importance of supply lines. Same here.
So
Only
we've reached
through a
now
strong
the
network
optional
can
task
our
of
cities be
120,000
supplied.
citizens in London. York. Let's have a look. It will need. It's got 40%, so it will need. Let's have a look at what business we could put up here. It's got to be something that's going to be useful. Is there wood? Not really. Dairy, not really. Chemicals, not really. Meat production, not needed. So we'll kind of let it just do its own thing. We could do with furniture being somewhere. Cheese. London's now is making its own cheese, so that's cracking. as we do have dairy. How is that line doing between Manchester and London going? Let's have a look what we've got in the warehouse. No milk, no sugar. I think we could potentially up the trains. See if that works. And then also run that as a second train as well. Just see if that works. It might all clog up, I don't know yet. We'll just get rid of the train. We'll keep the 2 sugar trains running. London is still growing. Any information on when that one's going to run? Oh, it's got 1, so the demand is there. Just a very little simple station there and get that running for the easy bonus. Because why not? Okay, cool. Really, we need to get corn from the top up there moving. Really need to see this train taking stuff up to York. That's the most difficult bit now, is just getting the 4 loads of veg up. And we've still got 3 years to do it, so the fulfillment is going to happen. Definitely. So for now, guys, all I can do is just keep building money and waiting. Okay, so frustratingly, we've only delivered 1 load of vegetables to York. Now, York has got a warehouse with vegetables in it. So what I've done, guys, is I have slightly opened up this track here just for 1 extra line for this train to run through. So I'm going to try and see if I can run a train from there to York with a minimum of 3 veg. And just see if it does instantly takes 3 veg straight up to York. So we could have probably done that a bit quicker. So once that has arrived, we will fulfill our vegetables to York, and we can move on with the next part of the scenario. So we will just keep an eye on that bad boy. Just watch it for a moment, just as it takes its journey up to York. Take this train. We are slowed for a moment. Okay, we should start moving again now. Faster. Could probably do with the third line just parked up here for that for the train that deals with that to London. I do like how detailed it actually is. Railway Empire games. Oh, I've played so many hours. So many hours over the years. Not far from arriving in York, I don't believe. I can see the city approaching. Choice of 4 lines to go in on, so no issue there. Cracking, so we should now fulfill this task. You can see people on
Another
stage.
step in the right direction, but don't let it go to your head. You there! Stop slouching! No discipline. It's a miracle you've completed your tasks.
Hello,
Oh, Liverpool's
I'm here on
shrinking.
behalf of the company board. I just wanted to take a moment to express our collective thanks for your work. So far, we are very impressed with your achievements, but we still expect even greater things from you.
You! How dare you praise my employees behind my back? Too much buttering up makes one fat and lazy. The nerve! Have you heard of the Great Northern Railway? A dangerous enemy that could leave us in the dust if you don't do something about it. So, what are you waiting for? Ha! My rival on the company board thinks I'm arrogant. Can you believe that?
So let's have a look
I
at
am
our
the
next
most
3 tasks.
modest
So
man
by
in the whole empire.
4
That's
private
common
routes, we've
knowledge.
done that. Have 80% of travellers take a train from Carlisle to Plymouth. Now that is a journey. And deliver 4 loads of liquor to London. So we should, in theory, do that anyway. We have a look at our London to Birmingham. Birmingham, are you producing liquor? That's the question. Not currently. We need sugar, so we need a private rail line really that's going to deliver sugar directly to Birmingham, so we can run that in. Like that. Maybe not. Why is that not working? Let's try that again. Just do it bit by bit if we have to. And then just double it up a little bit, or most of it, to be fair. So we can run 2 trains side by side for it. We've got something there without. So let's do a new rail line that goes directly from there to there. 2 trains, that'll do for me. Ooh, so we're going to take one at a time. And we need apples being directly delivered from there to Birmingham. We want to make that a minimum of 8. 2 trains, and we'll just let it see. We'll let it roll and see what happens with that. Because it might only need. It's only going to need the 1 train, isn't it? So. We should be good though. We should be good. Okay, so 80% travellers take the train from Carlisle to Plymouth. So we really need to extend out towards Plymouth now. I wonder if we can start buying our competitors out. We can't at the minute either. That's really frustrating. Get this looking right. And in Plymouth we'll put a maintenance depot and a warehouse, and in the warehouse we'll put corn. Now let's focus on getting Plymouth linked up. To we could do to Oxford, and then Oxford I think we need to open this up here to a 4-lane station. So that is going to be another task, and we'll do that now. And the way we do that is, of course, link that that, and then just extend. Like so. Beautiful. Okay, and that can just carry on now running. But it's a 4-lane station. We can extend that to go through Bristol. And unfortunately, we can't do that until we've connected Plymouth. So let's delete our city in Plymouth. Let's head through Bristol, get Bristol into the fold. And let's basically run the same setup that we've just done there. Just so it's got four lanes to run through instead of just the two. Same on this end. Just giving it a nice big run, just so that we can use the tracks as need be. And then we can go back and rejoin Plymouth. Plymouth's a bit of an awkward one because it does start in the hills as well, so you're coming into the tunnel straight away. And we're going to do exactly the same here with what we've just done there. Let's just 1 million. It's a bit expensive. That's a very expensive line, but do you know what? Sod it, it is what it is. It is what it is. We've spent the money now. We'll make that money back fairly quickly. Really annoying though. Such a long tunnel coming out of Plymouth, and I don't know if we can grid iron it. Wow. No, you can't grid iron it either. That is frustrating. Can we do 2? So we might have to look at changing that a little bit. Let's look at removing that part and that part. And that station. It's a bit better, guys. And a lot cheaper as well. So, cool. We've fulfilled doing what we wanted to there. Let's get... just run it in. Like we just did. There we go, we've got our gridirons. We've now got that sort of like direct route running all the way. We'll fix these two in a minute, but we've now got a route that goes all the way from Carlisle all the way down to Plymouth. It's a fair old trek. Let's do it express. 2 trains. It says it's doing it on long directions, but let's just have a look at where we've not sorted out tracks. There. We'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine. Everything's going to be absolutely fine. Let's have a look. So we can actually we've got stuff moving there. Right. So let's now look at a train from Oxford over to Bristol.
Apparently there have been complaints about my tyrannical behavior. Weaklings, a lot of them. I will take care that they are dismissed without
Oh wow,
severance pay.
okay, so we fulfilled that pretty quickly. It's the Licker to London now that seems to be the next task that we do need to fulfill. You know, we could have that happening at any time, to be fair. It just depends on how much liquor Birmingham is actually generating. Let's have a look. Liquor-wise, not much. Are we getting enough sugar coming in? Probably not. That's probably blocking it, that's why. So what we really need to do is make a train that goes directly from Birmingham to London, and we want to just manipulate it so that it only takes liquor. And we want it a minimum of 4. And of course a train. That will do. So if it's got to sit there and wait for goods, it's got to sit there and wait for goods, but liquor should be being produced, not an issue. London needs it. Sugar should be on the way. let's see how the apples are doing. York is growing beautifully. Okay, so apples are taking the time to get over to them, but it is kind of what it is. We could make that a little bit shorter in all fairness by just connecting it via there and via there. That actually would really help the process. Help the process, and if we just then add that track from there to there, and that from there to there, again just helps with that process of running that train all the way to nice and easy. Bish bash bosh. What's the demand like for London in regards to liquor? Well, it's not fulfilled any of it, so it does need the demand. It has got the demand. We're going to buy that. We're going to buy that distillery. And we're going to up the production on it. So we're going to need the apples, we're going to need the sugar. It's going to happen. We'll just keep an eye on that train for a moment. Make sure that that is taking sugar. Definitely is. Are we filling the train? No, we're not filling the train, so it is what it is. As long as that starts to be fulfilled. See, we'll only start distributing liquor once fulfillment has been achieved in its own city. Might be that we now need to up that to 2 trains. We'll try that. Still not seeing that. We are producing again though. We are producing. We just need to start seeing that sugar and apples becoming a constant to Manchester now, to Birmingham, sorry. We will fulfill that. We've got 5 years to do that as well. Manchester is still growing nicely. Let's get a library in there too. That will help with that growth. York is producing cloth, so we could do with cloth coming into, we need so if we have, we really need to get that to York in some capacity. So if we were to run line, it's not that expensive to be fair. Do it like that. Okay, yes, it's not the cheapest of lines. So we can fulfill this. For some reason we can't. Okay, so let's go back to the drawing board and try again. Just do it bit by bit, that's what we've got to do. So it's here it doesn't like, so if we have to just do it like that and rejoin like that, that's what we'll have to do. Tunnel here, guys. Struggling with this. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to demolish that and try it again. Because we do need this York connection happening now to Carlisle, so we'll run it directly up there. Directly up there. That way, and then we'll run it in there. Let's see if that's any better. It doesn't want to give us the automatic track, so that would presume to me something's not right. It's not saying anything as of yet, so happy with that. It might just be that we have to bite the bullet, skip the tunnel, just let the tunnel be one way, and do it like that. It might just be, it might have to be like that. Sometimes, guys, that's what you just gotta do. It's only a short section of track, so it's not too bad. We'll then run do that like that. that like that, and form a gridiron. Beautiful. We can now run let's get rid of that directly to York. We'll run 2 trains and we'll have them at a minimum of 8 wagons. Confirm. So that now brings us our train station to York to fulfill that. How are we doing in Birmingham now with the liquor? I fear we're not. We're not currently. Are we not producing enough? Is that the problem? I think it is the problem. We are producing, just not enough to supply both Birmingham and fulfill London's current need. Okay, so we're happy now. We're happy now. So as long as Birmingham does start producing enough of the liquor, we could even increase the level. And that means though that we are going to need more sugar and more apples, and the trains do need to be delivering it constantly. We'll see what happens here, guys. Let's put that as a no minimum, so it's just always constantly got apples being supplied to Birmingham. We need to fulfill this liquor need. Sugar is okay. Apples, yeah, we should be okay. So I've waited a bit of time for this train to actually now start moving our goods to London for the whiskey, for the liquor, and it's now actually on its way. Let's see if we can locate it. Which track it's on? Is it that one? It's got to be that one. So that train is now on its way down to London. It's almost there. That will then fulfill our tasks of delivering 4 loads of liquor to London. Now, while I was waiting and not recording, all I've done is run a couple of trains from Carlisle now to York. Just two trains running up and down. And I've extended up to Lockhart Station, put in salt, because I thought there might be a demand for salt in the system at some point now. So I've put salt in the warehouse at York. Manchester's going to want salt soon. Birmingham should want salt. There should be a demand for salt, really. We're going to up that to 3 trains now, because that's quite a busy line. I wonder how that Manchester to Liverpool one's actually. It's not a fantastic line, that one, to be fair. But it's always there in case we ever need it. I wonder if we can do York.
Man, you know who, once said it's better to surround yourself with reliable enemies.
York to Liverpool might be a good one to connect as well, guys.
Targeted and destroyed. Ha! My opponents will think twice about messing with me. Oh, and you've also achieved your goals. In the north of Wales, there's a private line to Holyhead that will take me a big step forward. If we succeeded in buying it, we would control the main transport route to Ireland. Fortunately, I've been able to convince Parliament, which allows us to purchase access rights to Wales.
Right, let's just
Wales
quickly
may
check
be
our
sparsely
research.
populated, but it
See,
lies between England and Ireland.
What's
That's
available
why
for us
routes
to
in this
buy
region
currently?
can be
Nothing.
very valuable.
So let's have a look at our next tasks. So buy the small private route from Chester to Holyhead Railway. Have a balance of 350,000 per week. We've done that. We've surpassed that. We're up to 378. Connect 13 cities in your railway network, and we're up to 11 out of 13. And guys, we're almost at the 100,000 mark for all three cities. Now let's have a quick look at what Manchester could provide for us. We've certainly got sugar. Ooh, what else could we have? We've got wood over there now, so wood could be a. I reckon we could probably do toilet rolls. We've placed it somewhere there, guys. I'm going to connect York to Liverpool, I think, guys. So we're going to run a line that goes underneath our current line and joins up with that one. Because I think York's actually quite a profitable city for us. It wasn't to begin with. Oh, it doesn't like us doing that. Let's try again. I don't know what its issue with is at the minute. Normally we don't have too much of an issue when it comes to tunnels, but at the moment we do seem to have an issue. So we might have to do... Oh, that ain't going to work either. Okay, so let's just destroy that and see what else we can do. We could potentially... We can't. We have to do a tunnel. I think we're going to have to do a tunnel, guys. We might just have to. It's not really liking it at all, is it? I didn't think it'd be that difficult to get a line going from one side to the other. In all honesty. Right, let's try that. Is that going to let us do it this time? See, that's really odd. It will let us do that. If we do that, but not... Okay, so let's... That wasn't even connected then, did you see that? We might just have to do... What the hell is that? That was seriously went wrong there. Never been this difficult, guys, I need to tell you. Okay, so we'll do it like that. We'll have to just bite the bullet and just have a little pinch point there. It's only one little pinch point. Let's get a new rail line that runs from York through to Liverpool. Via that track. Actually, do you know what? We'll do it. way back. Let's get a couple of trains running on there. Let's just see what sort of thing we're going to be taking. Beer, good. It's always good to get beer moving. Let's put a second train running on this line now. I think the week's going to be a good earner for us from there. I think we can also then look at getting rid of that single train that runs there. So we can get rid of that just to help stop clogging up the lines. Okay, so back to the tasks. We have until 52 to buy the railway and to connect 13 cities. We have until 53. So let's purchase that. Purchase that, and then let's
the weak are
get rid of
consumed
that.
by the strong, and thus
We'll
become
keep that
part of
station there.
something better.
Do you know what we didn't do? We didn't finish connecting these up. Wow, how bad is that? We need to finish connecting these up. I don't think we even have a train running to Plymouth at all from any station. So let's finish this Plymouth station and help that grow as well. It doesn't hurt to help another city grow, get more goods into the system. Okay, so we've got that. So let's get here. Let's get a maintenance depot, and let's get a warehouse, and in that warehouse, corn. Have we got any tracks at all running? Nothing. It doesn't look like we've got a single train coming out of Plymouth. Okay. So let's rectify that. Let's get Plymouth to Bristol to London, back to Bristol. There we go. So that now gets a couple of trains running. And let's get this terminal reconnected back up here. Should be good to go then, guys. Okay, so they're all running again now. We've got a train that's going to run from Plymouth all the way through to Bristol. Sorry, through to London as well. So that now brings an extra added whatever to the area. York has got 80,000, so we can now put a library up here. Manchester is on 98. Tell you what, we're gonna buy that. Oh, okay, that's the auction. We'll bid and buy that. Oh, the vegetable farm. Oh, I didn't really want that, but it doesn't matter. I want to buy that. So Birmingham. That's 120,000 people. Manchester is on almost 100,000 as well, guys. So once Manchester hits 100,000, we should be good. Good, good. Everything's growing rapidly. Plymouth should start growing as well soon. Oxford's nice. What's Oxford at? That's without a library. Wow. Okay, cool. Cool. We are good. Birmingham's just hit our target as well. So let's demolish. Oh, no. No, we've demolished the wrong thing. It's Manchester I wanted to get to the next level. Okay, so let's
Only with aggression and
on
fighting
what have we
spirit
got there. We've just
can you
achieved
succeed in spreading out
the
while
city.
defying our
So
enemies.
Manchester now we
I
can
see you've learned more from
demolish
me than I have suspected.
the library. That's what I was trying to do before, and now put the university there. Cool. So we've got we've actually achieved all the optional tasks too. Before we've finished the final task list, so we just need to get 2 more cities connected. Also, can we start buying our competitors? No, we can't. Okay, so we need to get Holyhead connected, potentially with Liverpool. I reckon that's going to be a useful connection. What's going on up here? Okay, let's just see what we've got. So we've got York and Carlisle. So let's just get rid of this train before it becomes an issue. No bother there. What other cities have we got that we can connect? Oh, we own that now. Brilliant, just what I needed. So Holyhead and it looks like Swansea are going to be our final 2. So let's get some new tracks running. Let's go with this one. Ooh, that's gonna be a fairly expensive track. We can run this into Liverpool, I think, via there. Let's give that a go. Beautiful. Let's yeah, I think that's okay. We'll then lay some new tracks that go down here and into what have we done there? Okay, well, we'll put a new station in Liverpool. It doesn't really matter so much. Let's get this connected to our town. We can only run 2 lines in. Well, it's not a bother. It's not really too much of an issue. We're just getting the tracks connected now so we can continue and finish our scenario. But we still do everything right that we need to. All the way to the end of the scenario. Now we've got to get Swansea connected too. Okay, so for now we can't even get. Wow. Okay. So let's demolish this one at Swansea. Now. Let's get a second train station here. Liverpool. I'm going to run that. And I reckon, if we're lucky... Ooh, we can't. We just can't. Just have to be like that, unfortunately. Do a new rail line that goes from Holyhead to Liverpool. Let's just connect. Let's just do it with one train, and then let's also get a new rail line that goes from there. Do we want to go? Yes. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put a warehouse here, and in this warehouse we'll put wood, and we'll put a new rail line that goes from there to there. Minimum of 8, and then we're going to get wood moving there, and then we'll also put in our warehouse up here in Liverpool wood. Because why not? Got a couple of trains blocked up here. What's going on? That's waiting on Liverpool to Oxford. It's Cambridge to Birmingham, London to Birmingham. Take that supply tower out and increase the gridirons. That should then solve that now. No issue. So we're up to 12. We just need to then look at getting Swansea connected. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do replace all for 2 million, so that gives us now all brand new trains. Supply tower there. Beautiful. Oh wow, he's really extended, hasn't he? That yellow one has really extended around the country. So let's get Swansea connected. We're going to start by connecting Swansea to Holyhead, I think. Once we're connected, that should achieve the task complete anyway. It's not really too much of an issue. Let's face it, guys, we're at a position now where money's not really too much of an object. There we go.
The success of the London and North Western Railway had permanently changed the face of British railroads. The patchwork of the rail network had been cleaned up, and passengers could now travel from London to Wales and then Scotland on a single ticket. The company had achieved its goal and had become the largest public company in the United Kingdom. But new opponents had also risen from the masses. These competitors were so big that they could not simply be bought up.
Success! Our network extends to the Welsh coast. Those who want to travel to Ireland must now use the London and North Western connection. I must congratulate you. You've accomplished everything I've asked for, and even more. You've outlived me in this enterprise. Supposedly my personality is no longer in line with our company values. Pah! I will simply move on to bigger and better things.
Ah, hello. It's me again. The board is really happy with your performance. After our parting with Captain Hewish, the position of general manager is vacant. We would be very happy if you would take over this role in the future.
Okay, so chapter completed. That's the trophy for completing chapter 2. We did that in Chief Executive, so beautiful. Right guys, thank you very much for watching. Join me when we do chapter 3, which is going to start getting a bit more difficult. Thank you, bye bye.